Hello, everyone's. I am here to talk about Bridgerton Season 1. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Lady T. I like to do reviews on scripted shows, reality shows, and also the reactions. If you're returning, you're one of my peoples, welcome back. Since Bridgerton Season 4 Part 1 has just come out, I wanted to review it, but since I hadn't done Seasons 1 through 3 plus Queen Charlotte, I was like, let me go ahead and get these seasons out of the way before I start reviewing Bridgerton Season 4. Now, Bridgerton, we're back in the 1813s. And we have the Bridgerton family, the Featherington family, Lady Danbury, the Duke of Hastings, and Queen Charlotte. And we also have Lady Whistledown, who is a gossip column that spreads out everybody's business in the town. What maid quit because she was not getting paid right? What husband has a wandering eye? Where's the best modiste to go to? Who has the best party? Things like that. So with the Bridgerton family, we have Daphne. This is her first season to enter into society, to meet the queen, and to go to balls in hopes of finding a husband. That's what the ladies are doing when they're entering into society, is night after night going to different balls and hopefully that they can snag them a husband. Now, Daphne, she has already got the stamp of approval for Queen Charlotte. And this is where we're going to pause right here. The wigs that Queen Charlotte has. It is like she is going to a Bronner Brothers hair show each and every time she step on the scene. It is always big. Sometimes it got like multiple bows, the hair that looks like multiple bows. At one point it looked like she had like a little merry-go-round going on in there. She is always coming with the wigs, and they are always exaggerated, and they are always fabulous. And I'm going to try to put in some pictures so you can see what I'm talking about if you have not been watching Bridgerton. So, when you're entering into society, this is the 1813. Scandal is everywhere. You can be caught up in the scandal if you were a young woman and you were seen with a man who is not your family member. Then bam, boom, bam, your reputation is ruined and all your family is shunned. So you got to be careful out here. Now, Daphne's brother, Anthony, he is escorting her around, telling her which man is not the best of men while they're at Lady Danbury's ball. Oh, this man over here cheap. His mom and daddy, something ain't right with them. Every person that come up, Anthony has an issue with this person. At this point, Daphne, she like, you know what? I'm gonna go get me something to drink. She need to get away from her brother for just a little bit. As she's doing this, we are introduced to Lord Burbrook, who has an interesting face. And he is a lot bit of creepy. This man has been waiting patiently for Daphne to become of age because he is ready to make her, and specifically her, his wife. He has been liking her since she was 5 years old. Now, Lord Burbrook, he is at least in his 20s. I'm thinking about late 20s. And he been liking her since she was 5. Now, I'm trying to figure out what a 5-year-old did to make you, intrigued with her. But she not feeling him at all. She trying to be polite about it, like, yeah, I don't really like you like that for real. So I'm gonna just, chuck the deuce in peace. And as she's doing it, she leaves. And this is when she runs into the Duke of Hastings. The Duke of Hastings, he is only at this party because his godmother, Lady Danbury, told him he was coming. Point blank, period. So Daphne runs into the Duke of Hastings, and she's like trying to, spark up a conversation, and hopefully the Lord, Burbrook will get the message to leave her alone. But the Duke of Hastings just thinks she's another young lady who wants to be married to her. But she was like, what is your name? He's like, oh, like you don't know who I am. She looked like, listen here, sir. I'm just trying to get away from this creepy dude over here. I am not trying to get with you for real. But we find out the Duke of Hastings and Anthony Bridgerton, they are friends. So she's like, oh, so you friends with my brother? My brother is a rake, so therefore you must be a rake, so I don't really got nothing to do with you. I think a rake is like a playboy. He be out here doing everything but wanting to get married. That's what I believe a rake is. So she was like, you know what? Yeah, I really don't have no time for you. So it is the next day when, after the balls, if the balls that the ladies go to, if a young man or a young lord or a earl or a duke is interested in you, they'll come to your house bringing presents, trying to make a good impression in hopes of marrying you. Well, definitely the only person that shows up is Lord Burbrook. And he is taking this as a sign that we must be together. And Daphne is like, we absolutely do not need to be together. Now, we're going to move over to the Featheringtons. The cousin, Marissa, I think that's her name. She is a cute girl. And all of the young men, the young lords, earls, and all those, they was swarming to her. They was liking her. A whole bunch of them was showing up with puppies and flowers and candies. You name it, they was showing up like, I like you. Lady Featherington, she not feeling this. Because she wants her 3 daughters to, find a man before Marina finds a man. And, a husband, to marry off. Now, Lady Featherington, she's something else. She is very rude to her youngest daughter, Penelope, because Penelope got a little bit of weight on her. And the 2 older sisters, they not the smartest, but they are also mean to Penelope. They don't like the fact that she be liking to read. Like, reading, you'll confuse your thoughts. Like, I'm confused my thoughts, because Penelope always has a book in her hand, and she's always reading. She's like, she into society, but not really into that. She like to read her books, but we're going to get a little bit more into her. So, the husband, Lord Featherington, I don't know what is about this man, but the man was giving off creep vibes the way he was looking at Marissa. Marina? I think it's Marina. It's been some years since I've seen season 1, so forgive me on this one. I know I should be doing better. Forgive me. I'm always bad with names. I think it is Marina. He read a newspaper, and it looked like he got the newspaper, like, y'all remember in The Color Purple when Mr. was sitting on the porch reading the newspaper, but he really had it angled so where he can see Nettie? That's what Lord Featherington was giving off. I'm like, this your cousin. Why are you looking at her like that? You giving off creepy vibes, and I'm not really liking this at all. Back to Daphne and the Duke of Hastings. She is upset because she not really... The dudes ain't really coming, to see her, mainly because her brother Anthony is, like, basically scaring everybody off. So she is, off by herself, which is really a no-no in this day and age, because, you a young lady, you should either have your lady waiting with you, or you should have a companion with you. And this is where Lord Burbrook, pops up being the creep that he is. And it's like, this could ruin her reputation because she is alone with a man. Well, as he is trying to, manhandle her, she was like, no, ma'am, and she bops him. Well, the Duke of Hastings was about to come up and, save her honor, but, she actually knocked him out. But now it's like, it's really looking bad because I am alone with 2 dudes. And now they make a pact that, hey, you want to get married, I want these doggone mamas and the daughters to leave me alone. So we gonna act like we like each other, for real, for real. This will get you some more attention, and this will lead the ladies leave me alone. But Lord Birdwood was like, oh no ma'am, only I can be with Daphne. I have been liking her since she was 5. Again, giving off creepy moves. This dude went so far as to go get a license and was basically threatening her like, hey, if you don't marry me, I'm going to tell everybody that you was alone with me. Now, even though it was true, but it wasn't true at the same time. Like, yes, they were alone together, but they wasn't doing anything, untoward. But still, that could ruin her reputation and the whole family reputation. And she has to look at my younger sisters getting married and my younger brothers and some of my older brothers getting married. This is going to ruin a whole lot of people. Well, Queen Charlotte gets word of this. And she is like, no ma'am, you were the diamond of the season. And I'm not going to let this, this dude whose face looks like it looks and is a creep, I'm not going to let that ruin you. So she invited Lady Bridgerton over and have a talk. And as you know, they talk, and she sends Brimsley her he is like, he just be following her around. I don't know exactly what Brimsley's job is. I guess to go get her, her sniffer that she likes to sniff to feel relaxed and happy. Read between the lines, y'all. Read between the lines. She's like, yeah, that one right there, he like the gossip. So whatever we talking about, be all over the time soon. So she's like, I heard, that you was getting married. Ooh, my screen went dead. Hold on, y'all. All right, we back. I heard that creepy dude whose face looked like it looks, had a little marriage license out, and he trying to, mess up some things with you. I find that interesting. So it was like, basically, she was telling them without telling them, you need to find some dirt on him and then spread this dirt around. So they done invited his mama over. And, so they can get the maid to talking. And this is when we found out that, Warwick, being the creep that he is and the face looking like it looks, he had got his maid pregnant and sent her and the baby off to the country without any money. So the ladies do what the ladies do. We gonna gossip. We gonna get this out here so we can scare Lord Warwick off. And that is what we did. But as Daphne and the Duke of Hastings are pretending to go on these promenades and liking each other, they actually start liking each other. But the only problem is the Duke of Hastings, he has decided that he is not going to marry or have kids, all because of his Raggedy Daddy. Raggedy Daddy, the original Duke of Hastings, wanted a son. He wanted an heir. He wanted to pass his lineage off to somebody. And his wife was having trouble conceiving. So, of course, since this is the 1813s and ladies are still doing this even to this day, it is the woman's fault that, there is no baby here. Of course. It's always the woman's fault. So, when she finally does have a baby, she ends up, dying during childbirth. And he did not care at all, did not even go about his wife dying. It was like, I have a son. Yes, he was almost giving, the Lion King, the circle of life, where he was holding up the Duke of Hastings. But the Duke of Hastings ended up having he had a stutter. So therefore, it's 1813. You have a stutter, therefore you are stupid, therefore I don't want nothing to do with you. But Lady Danbury, the lady that she was like, I thought you was dead. All right, come talk to me. Your mama was my best friend. So now I'm your godmother. It's unofficial, but I'm your godmother. And she helped him to, with his speech. He didn't really see his daddy after that because his daddy is an evil man. So on the daddy's deathbed, he came up and was like, look here. I don't like you. I hate you with every core of my body. Now, mind you, I'm paraphrasing. You were dying. I am never going to get married and I'm never going to have a kid. I am going to be the last Hastings. So out of spite, he chose he's not going to get married and he is not going to have any kids. And he has made that clear. So now, him and Daphne, they break up even though they weren't together. And this is when the queen was like, well, I got a nephew. And he a prince. So, y'all make it do what to do. But, Daphne, she is, hanging out with the prince. But it's she don't like him, for real. But he a good dude and all. But, she really liking the Duke of Hastings. And they ended up kissing. And Anthony finds out and gets mad. So, now we got to challenge this man to a duel. So, now you done ruined my sister's reputation. Granted, Anthony has been out here doing everything under the sun that he think he grown enough to do. But he is a man, and therefore he can do that. Because then, men, they can do anything you want. But let a woman just accidentally go into a room and there is a man in there that is not her relative. Now, all of a sudden, her reputation is ruined. But, if you think about it that way, that would be an easy way to get rid of the competition. If a young lady or a young woman was like, hey, I like that dude over there, but Mrs., Angela, she like him and they look like they close. I'm going to make a lie up about Lady Angela and ruin her reputation so I can slide in. I was like, that part was happening all the time. Well, the Duke of Hastings and, what's it, Daphne, they go before the queen is like, we're in love and we want to get married. The Duke is only doing this for her reputation, and he's like mad at himself because one, he don't want to get married, and two, he feels like he is like, he knows Daphne wants to get married and she don't like him like that for real, for real. So it's like, man, I'm gonna do this for your reputation, but I'm mad I'm making you do this. So they ended up getting married, and like it wasn't until their honeymoon it was like, he's like, I am mad that I have forced you into it, and I know you don't like me. And she's like, who said I don't like you? I actually do like you. And he was like, oh, for real, for real. She was like, yeah, I like you. So this is when they start, they are really, really in love. But the thing is, Daphne don't know anything about sex. None of the young ladies know anything about sex or how babies are made. So this is something they didn't talk about back then. It's like, the young women, they just go on their wedding night and it's like a surprise for them. Now we're going to move over back to the Featheringtons. Marina is pregnant. She got pregnant by her boyfriend before she got there. But he is off to war. And then she's been writing him, and it was like, he had wrote back like, I don't want to do nothing to do with you, leave me alone. So that was like, she got to find somebody to marry so she can put this baby on this person. And we got to do it fast because she's going to be showing soon. This is when Colin Bridgerton is starting to take a liking to her. And Eloise Bridgerton finds out from Penelope Featherington that, hey, somebody in my house is pregnant. And she's like, it can't be your mama because your mama, ain't she like, basically, your mama too old to be having kids. So who is it? She was like, the maid. She's like, how did this happen? Like, she's not married, so how could a baby happen? So now there's a question of like, how are babies made? I didn't know that a lady could have a baby if she wasn't married. And Lady Bridgerton, she don't know what to say because, she knows, but it's like, they don't talk about things like this. So Colin, he is taking a liking to Marina, and he wants to marry her. So it's like, okay, this seems like a good idea, but then it gets out that she is pregnant. And it was like, this not going to look good at all, so what will we do? Meanwhile, Penelope, she liked Marina, but Penelope has been in love with Colin for the longest time, so it's like, I don't want you to marry him because I want to marry him, but you my cousin and you my friend, and I'm going to help you out. And this is when we find out that Lady Featherington and her lady's maid, wrote a fake letter from Marina's boyfriend saying he didn't want her. But this is when we find out that he had died on the battlefield. So it was like, okay, what am I going to do now? Her boyfriend's brother showed up, and he wanted to do the right thing by marrying her and raising his brother's child. But she was like, no, I don't want to do that. She had taken some medicine to like get rid of the baby, and then she had thought she had did that, but didn't find out she didn't. So she eventually decided to go ahead and marry her boyfriend's brother, even though she didn't really want to, but she don't really have a choice, because what is she gonna do being unmarried, with kids, and that's gonna be really, really frowned upon. So we're gonna move back over to Daphne and the Duke of Hastings. They are at Hastings Manor, and they're, doing what grown folks do, but she's like, she don't understand what is going on. And this is when we find out, she asked her lady's maid, like, how were babies made? And the maid told her, so she was like, oh, okay. So they was doing what they doing, and things happened. So now he is, like, upset, and she was like, you lied to me. He's like, no, I told you I can't give you kids. She's like, you can, you just don't want to. There's a difference. It's like, you can't do it. You were making it seem like it's some medical thing. No, this is you mad at your daddy. So he was like, I'll take responsibility for the baby, but we never can be. So, like, they mad at each other. But, like, after a while, her finding out why he was the way he was, they kind of, like, make up, and, like, everything is all cool and all. And it was good, but then it was, like, bad at the same time, because, like, they spent a lot of the time mad at each other because they wasn't talking, because Daphne she didn't know anything. She knew nothing about life because nobody told her anything. She had been sheltered since she was a child, and then it was just thrust into marriage without knowing anything. She was just taught how to run a household, how to host parties and things of that nature. And she wasn't really prepared about like how babies are made and those things of that nature. But eventually they do have a baby, and Lady Bridgerton, she is happy because she loves having babies in the house. So it was like good for them. But while all this was going on, Queen Charlotte, she wanted to know who Lady Whistledown is, because basically Lady Whistledown, she be sort of dragging the Queen a little bit. So it's like, I need to find out who this lady is. Eloise is like, I want to find out who she is too. So it was like she trying to find out as well. And this is when we find out that Lady Whistledown is Penelope Featherington. And I was like, that makes sense, because Penelope Featherington, she is a wallflower. She sits back and observes. That is what she does. She is quiet. She is unnoticeable. I'm sorry, y'all. My screen keep on going dark, and I hope nothing cut it out. So you would never suspect that Lady Whistledown is Penelope Featherington, because she's always quiet and just sitting back and observing. And I was like, that is the best person to get all the information, because she seems unassuming. Now, meanwhile, Lord Featherton, he low on money. So he was like, how can I make a quick buck? So he went up to this boxer, I think their last name is Mandrake, and was like, look here, I want you to throw this fight, and I'm going to give you a little bit of money, all right? So Mandrake, he throws the fight, and Lord Featherton wins a lot of money. But the thing is, these people, they not happy the way that he had came about this money. Like, they thought, Lady Featherington thought, hey, our money troubles are all over. We got us a little bit of money. But the thing is that people, they not happy about that. So Lord Featherton is no longer here, and their money is no longer here either. So it's like, what will we do now? How will we survive? Because in this day and age, a lot of women, your husband, he no longer here. You got to find like a male relative to take care of you. Or, you need to go ahead and get remarried, hopefully with somebody with some money, so you can continue living the life that you want to live. And that's basically where they at. Like, what we gonna do? We just had a little bit of money, and we lost it. We got money, and then that was taken away from us, and my husband gone too. But it seemed like Lady Featherton was more upset that the money was gone than her husband. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you on that one. Like, I love my husband, yeah. But that money though. How we gonna live if we don't have that money? We done already got, slightly shunned because Marina was up there trying to trap Colin Bridgerton, and that brought a cloud over our family. So now what we gonna do? I was like, yeah. So that was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It is free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are on so when my beautiful face with a video, you can click on it, you can like it, you can share it to people, and you can come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.